friends, Katie Fit right here. I get a lot of questions about belts for kettlebell sport lifting, so I thought I would make a video to answer all of your questions. So first of all, what belt should you buy? Now, my personal preference here is a belt I have made by Bellevator. My coach Denis Vasilev makes these belts. For me, this is the right width. I love this width and make sure that that belt stays on when I'm doing my cleans. A lot of people are a fan of a lot of Champions brand. That may be another way to go. Just know that personally for myself, those don't fit me quite right. There's various other brands out there, but I would say those two brands are the ones that cater specifically to kettlebell sport. So what's the purpose of the belt? The purpose of the belt for kettlebell sport is not to protect your lower back and support your lower back. You should really have the strength both in your core and in your back to support the weight of the belts without the belt. What the belt does is it just helps find a little bit more comfort in the rack position. Essentially, just kind of pushes up your belly fat a little bit so you get a shelf to place your elbows right onto that hip and sit more comfortably and ensure that those elbows don't slide out when you're in the rack position. So it's really something that's more for to enhance your ability to relax than to protect your back. If your back is hurting from kettlebell sport lifting, you might want to take a look at your technique or your flexibility as opposed to getting a belt to fix the problem. So next up, when you get the belt, it's probably going to be very stiff. So what I did when I got this belt was I rolled the crap out of it, just like moving it around, rolling it up into a little ball, putting some leather conditioner on there, just to get it really nice, smooth, and pliable. Because again, if the belt is not pliable, it's probably going to end up just flipping out of place when you're doing the clean. And as most of you guys probably know, if your belt doesn't fit right, it can hurt you more than it can help. Okay, so then in terms of the size of the belt, you want to make sure that this tapered area of the belt is going to line up right with your iliac crest. Okay, so that should be, that tapered part of the belt should be right where your elbows are going to sit above. So you want to make sure you send your measurements to whoever makes your belt so that they can get that tapering at the right spot. Now, the belt should really sit right across your hip bone. So some people want to put it up high like this. This is not going to help you because your elbows are going to sit right on the belt and they're going to end up scraping. So what you want to see with the belt is, and these things go on tight, so it takes a little work sometimes to get them on and off. So you want that belt to sit right on your hips. Now I tighten it up, and then from there I push it down so it really like squeezes my hips nice and tight. Because you do want it tight enough that it will stay throughout your set. Now another thing you want to pay attention to about how this belt goes on is the shirt that you're wearing should not be pulling on your belt when you put your arms overhead. So right now when I put my arms overhead, I kind of feel that my shirt is pulling my belt, and that's going to mean that when I go into that clean, it's probably going to pop up. So what I do is I pull my shirt so it's still hooked in there, but so it's not pulling on my belt when I put my arms overhead. Okay, and this will double help that your shirt is right over the edge of the belt so you won't end up scraping your elbows. Okay, and now usually before I even put my belt on, I forgot, but I'll tell you now, I use a spray bottle of water and I will spray down this whole area, including the back of my shirt, right underneath my belt, so that it will stick and grip a little bit better with the belt. So you wet it down, so that belt should sit across the hips, and then kind of pull your t-shirt up and out so that it's not pulling on the belt when you raise your arms overhead. And then, if your belt fits right, it should ideally just stay in place when you're doing your cleans and provide a nice little shelf there for your elbows when you're sitting in the rack position.